Alright guys, during the Saturday outing, my boat was overheating. If you watched that video, you saw what happened. I ended up trolling all the way home. It wasn't any fun, but without this 9.8 kicker motor, never would have got home safely. So I'm glad I got this, not only to troll for stripers, but also the condition in which I ran across on that Saturday. So if your engine is overheating and you're trying to figure out why and you can't quite figure out and get a handle on the reasoning behind it, after doing some independent research, I found that there's two potential impellers that can go bad and can cause an overheating condition. One impeller is located right here at the lower unit on the SX drive. There's an intake holes where the water gets sucked in by the impeller on the lower, and it gets forced into a tube that goes into the main engine, and there's a second impeller on the main engine. And you have to check for both impellers. I'm just going to show you what I have to do here first to run that simple test. Again, the test that I'm going to perform today is going to be a simple intake test. The water muffs will, cover the hole, and the idea is that if I run the water in the muff and the water gets sucked in, and that water then gets pushed up through the main engine, at the end of that, at the end of the hose, then that's proof that the intake impeller is actually working as it's supposed to. So I'm going to rule out one of the two possible impellers. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. All right, so when I start this main engine, the idea is that I should be able to get water that gets intake or gets brought in from that intake impeller, excuse me a bit, and gets put through to the end of this hose as soon as I start the main engine. So I'm hoping to see that water gets pushed through here. If it happens and I get a nice steady stream of water, then I can bet that the intake impeller is working as expected. So I'm going to go ahead and start the engine now. We'll see what happens. And here we go. Doesn't look like any water's entering here. So it is worse than I expected. There's two possible places, and I think the intake impeller is not working. Okay, so I'm back to testing the lower because the water did not enter the other end at the main engine like I expected. So there's a hose that goes from the lower's impeller, and it goes directly to the main engine. Right there. I'm trying to get it focused, but okay. So that is where this hose connects to. And that's the intake. It goes from the lower intake. And I'm going to retest this again, but I'm going to see if the water spews out of there. If it does, then the impeller is good. I just need definitive proof that the impeller on this lower is bad. Otherwise, I'm not going to take the lower unit off just to find that it was already good. So here's another simple test. working. Impeller is working. Found that happy medium, guys. I think cleaning it worked.